Okay. Awesome. Well, honestly, I think the next thing is to just kind of learn about you. Who are you?
Yeah.
Where'd you come from? Why are you here?
Yeah. So I'm from New York, born and raised in New York.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I lived there all my life. I grew up, in a very diverse environment, uh, and I had a very full life as a child. I grew up in like a lot of hip hop culture around music. Being young, I went to a lot of concerts. I met a lot of celebrities and artists. I was really outside a lot, very
Mm-hmm.
social. My dad really brought me everywhere with him. I did
Mm.
everything with my dad. Um, you know, I kind of lived this lifestyle, like this extravagant, like lifestyle for a short period of time before my father went to prison. So my father went to prison for 20 years when I was 8 years old. He just recently got out of prison. So during that time, like my life was very rough. I then started living with my mother's side of the family.
Yeah.
And, I traveled a lot. I spent a lot of time in Florida. I spent a lot of time in California. I went to high school in California for 1 year. So I did a lot of traveling in the States when I was younger. I got to see a lot of, different environments. And I
Mm-hmm.
was able to make a lot of connections, make a lot of, meet a lot of people and see different ways of living. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this very much inspired me as far as wanting to leave the States and seeing what is outside of what we know. So
Yeah.
for me, that's kind of how I ended up outside of the States. But yeah, my background really is just mostly in music and arts and creative. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been into design. I've always been into everything creative, from music to modeling to photography, directing,
Mm-hmm.
writing. Writing has always been my biggest passion. So that's a little bit more about like what I like to do, and how I got here today. I have a background in finance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I worked in finance for like the past 6 years. So, I'm a numbers guy. I really, I really very much about making strategic investments and help guiding people to make strategic investments and to utilize their money in the best possible way and diversify their portfolios. So I do a lot of wealth management. I do,
Mm-hmm.
I provide people with capital, whether they're from the States or global citizens. So I help people get capital to make investments, and then I also
Mm-hmm.
help them with the money that they have so that they can make the right investments. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much that as far as my background, how I got into real estate, how I got here in Bali. I always
Yeah.
wanted to leave the States. I always wanted to live in Ghana, Africa. I wanted to move to Africa my whole life. Um, and, I ended up here in Bali because I didn't think I was necessarily ready. I still had
Yeah.
more development to do. I also didn't have my full plan figured out. So, coming
Mm-hmm.
to Bali was like my waiting room. I had to come here to, figure things out and allow myself to recalibrate, reset, and elevate my way of thinking and finding myself at a deeper level, at a more
Yeah.
spiritual, energetic frequency level. And through that, I got this clarity, especially when it comes to work, when it comes to business and everything that I'm doing now. And my
Mm-hmm.
goals and my purpose became a lot more clear to me. So, I got into real estate when I first got here because I was already studying real estate in the African market. And that's what pushed me to get into real
Mm-hmm.
estate. And I'm just a person who tries everything. So, real estate was one of the last things on my list. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Let me get into this. I'm already a finance guy, and I also do sales. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm into design. So real estate offers a lot of avenues for me to express my creativity and my expertise. So that's how I ended up in real estate. That's how I ended up in Bali. And my
Mm-hmm.
goals moving forward is to move to Ghana after this project is complete, and reinvest into the community there, build a community center, start a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Even with this project, I'm going to take 10% of the my profit share of the entire project and give
Mm-hmm.
it to a community in Cameroon, which is ran by the princess. Um, and also, we now collaborated with another prince from
Mm-hmm.
Cameroon. So we're doing a lot of giving back, a lot of giving back to communities, building infrastructure and foundation, not just here in Bali, but also in Africa back home. So, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as like my purpose, my goals, how I got here, and why you should work with us, right? So, because when you
Yeah.
work with us, I'm somebody who's very forward thinking. So, I'm looking to help others, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not just for self. I'm not materialistic. I'm not going to take all my profit from this project and go buy a Lamborghini, which I easily could with this, with how big this project is. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to build infrastructure. I want to give back. I want to help kids. I want to be a mentor, be an example to show people that this is possible, and very much inspired also by like people like Nipsey Hussle and people who, came into the community from like the culture side and turned into moguls, right? And turned into actually turning that, that power that we have, right, as a culture and making it into something that actually lasts beyond, the now.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best way to sum everything up.
Yeah. We were talking about your spiritual journey. I feel like a lot of people who are interested in Bali are on some type of spiritual journey.
Yes.
You can dive in just a little bit on, maybe what brought you here spiritually and maybe what other people are possibly feeling that you've encountered as well, and how real estate is a part of that.
Yeah. So there's a lot to say when it comes to the spiritual side of things. When it comes to Bali, it's a very spiritual place. The energy here is very heightened. Manifestation is much more powerful. Like I said, I've only been here for 1.5 years, almost 2 years now, and I'm already developing 30 villas here in Nusa Dua. So you can use me as a testimony and as an example to what's possible here.
I've only been here 10 days, and here we are too. So.
Exactly. So, it's very powerful here if you're looking to, come across these opportunities and be able to develop yourself at a faster pace. And a reason why that, if you know a little bit about like the planetary grid, the ley lines here in Bali are very strong. There's multiple ley lines that run through Bali. And what this does is it creates a specific energetic frequency that is very unique, that provides this level of amplification. Right. And when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to karma, when it comes to spiritual journey, right? Like, so there's special places like this in the world, and Bali is actually one of those special places from a planetary grid aspect. So I think that's a big reason why that's like that. And obviously it's an island, it's surrounded by mountains and volcanoes, and it's just a natural hub and a place where just in the world, it's just a very special, sacred place.
Yeah.
The people here are very spiritual. They practice a lot of different practices, and they're very kind. The atmosphere is, the hospitality here is out of this world. I don't think there's any place in the rest of the world that
contagious.
This hospitality, you come here and this energy, it just it drives through you, like it fuels you to want to be more happier. Like it just really amplifies your peace, right? Even if you don't have peace, you come here, you'll feel crazy to not be peaceful, because it's just everybody's always smiling, everybody's always being nice, everybody's kind. So it's a great place to heal. If you've grown up in a rough environment, or if you had a traumatic past, this is a great place to come to recenter, to realign, and to connect with people. It's also a very great place to make connections and network. Obviously, as you can see, we've networked, and I've networked to get to this position. So it's so much opportunity here on both sides, and that's how the business and the spiritual sides connect. Through the process of you healing, you also get to develop, make connections, and also be able to provide value, not just to you and your community, but also this community and the locals here. You have a lot of opportunity to help the locals. If you want to build a villa here, you gotta have to hire locals, right? So you actually are able to pour back into the community, and that type of money goes a long way here for the locals. So whatever you're paying them, trust me, you're making a significant impact in their lives. Just by being a part of a project like this, you help a lot of people more than you think. So
it's not just you're not just buying real estate. It's almost a healing center for visitors that are coming to stay at your villa once you purchase it. And it's a healing center for you too, because once you get here, like you mentioned, this whole environment is contagious.
That's the exact word.
The frequency around you, it's just higher vibration. You can physically feel it.
It's so powerful.
So we just welcome you to learn more. If you have any questions, how can they contact you?
So you guys can contact me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Keefe Carter. So you can contact me there. Just, shoot me your name, whatever questions you guys have, let me know where you guys are coming from. So, I can promptly respond. You guys can contact me there. You can also check out my website, internationalplaymakers.com.
It will all be in the description.
Yes.
For you all. Last parting words. What would you say?
I would just say, if you're interested in coming to Bali, or you're interested in investing, it's a great idea. Do your due diligence. learn why Bali is the number one rental income capital in the world, and learn why it's one of the most visited places in the world, right? So whether you're coming here just to have a spiritual experience or you're coming to make an investment, this is one of the best places you could do both in. So just imagine that you can have best of both worlds.
Mic drop. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Well, that is the process of only one particular project. That's one example. Every situation will be different, but in this situation, it's always good to have structure in place so that you are protected. If you want more breakdowns like this, continue to follow the journey because that's what I'm here for.